Hey everybody, my name's Larry. It's a Tuesday in Central Arkansas, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about when you first get married. Uh, I know when we first got married, obviously we were living on love because we sure weren't living on money. We're just getting started, and I was fortunate, as I've mentioned a few times before. My father-in-law was a painting and sheetrock contractor, and he gave me a job, and we worked about 6 days a week, sometimes 7, and had a lot of work back then. But even so, when we were first married, my wife wasn't working yet. She hadn't found a job, and we got married when we were like 18 and a half. We graduated in May, I think it was May the 18th of 79, and we were married June the 8th of 79. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. I wouldn't change it. It's been great. Yesterday, June the 8th, we were married for 47 years. We've been together 49 years. And I just remember, struggling to make ends meet in the beginning. I remember going to the supermarket, and we kept a calculator at the time, and she would put things in the basket and I would add them up on the calculator and kind of also keep up with the tax. And sometimes I would say, that's all we got. And she would say, well, we don't have everything we need. And I said, well, you better prioritize it because we don't have any more money right now. I gotta go to work next week, and then we'll have some more money. Eventually, she went to work at a university. That helped out a lot. And she worked 44 years there. And it's amazing. 44 years is a long time. But she did it. And I can remember then later on in life, we didn't have children until we were married 4 years. And when we had the first child, it's kind of like, that hit the pocketbook a little bit. And then we had a second child when 6 years rolled around. So they're about 23 months apart. And even though I was working with my father-in-law during the week painting, I began to get some side jobs on top of all that. And there was a lot of weeks I worked 80 hours. For sure, a whole lot more than that, 65 or 70 hours. It was just like, here it is, come and get it if you want it. And when you're struggling and you got an opportunity to make money, I felt like, well, hey, I got married, I brought 2 children into the world, and it's my job to support them and, give them a decent life. It didn't have to be, rich or anything, but give them a good life. Certainly provide food, clothing, roof over your head, things like that. And, as time went by, we were married longer. We were able to save some money, kind of get out of the ditch, so to speak. But I do remember during that time, oftentimes my wife, she'd be stressed out from having the kids, and I'd be working late, and she would say something like, so glad you're home. I just want to have an adult conversation. And I think a lot of mothers and fathers probably, depending on the situation, can relate to that because even though you love your children when they're little, you got diapers changed, you got to feed them, rock them, put them to sleep. Sometimes their tummy hurts. And it's like a full-time job. I might have been painting a house, but she had a full-time job as well after she got off work, which was caring for the household and caring for the children. And I would tell young people today, you've got to find a happy medium on work versus home life. It's very hard on a marriage if you work all the time and you never spend any time together. And especially if you're young, you need to have a little bit of fun. You know, it can't be. I think the old saying is, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So you got to find a happy medium on that. I remember sometimes my wife and kids being frustrated that I work so much, and I would say, hey, let's have a family meeting. Family meeting. I call them all together. I tell my wife, you know, it's like, well, you got a pretty nice car out there. It's not quite new, but it's almost new. We could sell that, make a little money, buy an older car. Kids, you can do without this, you can do without that, and Daddy can be home. And I'd say, now what do y'all want to do? When I finished my speech, I'd say, now what do y'all want to do? And they'd look at each other and they'd say, Daddy, you go back to work. And my wife said, why don't you just go on back to work? We understand now. So I worked, and of course, I'm 65 now. It's been working in life and making and having success. It's a continuous thing. Day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. And, you know, if you're lucky, you live long enough to reap some of those rewards and benefits. And my wife and I have been fortunate to have pretty good health. Like I say, we'll soon be 66. And starting to see a little bit of those benefits. But man, it takes a long time. And I also tell young people, if you're watching this, to the best of your ability, save some kind of money. I would tell you, I wish I had been able to start earlier saving and investing. You know, even if it's $50 a month, compound interest adds up over time. So if you're young, to close this video out, find a happy medium between work and life. Don't work so much that you're miserable and you wind up and get a divorce because you don't spend any time together. But at the same time, try to save a little. And some of that may mean maybe you don't need to want so much. In other words, you know, maybe your house that you want to buy is only 1,500 square feet instead of 2,200 square feet. And maybe the car that you want to buy is, you know, $45,000 new, and just buy a used car for 20 or 22. You know, you got to watch those things and you know, grow your little garden out back if you got room, and cook at home. Don't eat out so much. Boy, that sounds all boring, I know, but that may be what it takes to get ahead and to be able to spend more time together, especially in the world we're living in today. It's cost of living is pretty much through the roof. But that's all I got for today. I hope y'all will like, share, and subscribe to this video. It helps me out a little bit. I'm not yet monetized in any way, so I'm not making any money. I'm just getting started. So I hope y'all have a great Tuesday. Thanks for listening.